pleased to have with us one of the best and brightest minds on this threat. He is a Pittsburgh native. He's a retired general, General Michael Hayden. He was director of the CIA from 2006 to 2009. He was also director of the NSA, known as no such agency by some folks anyway, but a very powerful spy agency, and he was the highest-ranking intelligence officer in the armed forces. Welcome to General Hayden. Welcome to Danger Zone, sir.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Thank you. We're glad to have you here. What do you think about this cyber problem that we're facing, cyber espionage? Is it as overwhelming as some people say?
It deserves all the attention it's now getting. Actually, those of us who have kind of been on the inside watching it develop have been wondering why it hasn't been getting much attention. Yeah. Now we do. Now we've got a lot of debate about it. Now, we have not yet decided on our way forward. We don't have a clear course of action. There are a host of legal and policy questions that we have to work our way through. But at least now we've got attention on the issue.
You know, it seems to me, just little anecdotes that I pick up here and there, that an awful lot of people who are good at this are in the former Soviet Union or in China. Those two places. Is that right? Am I right about that?
No, that's a very good instinct. It's very interesting. About 3 or 4 months ago, an organization called NCIX, the National Counterintelligence Executive, published a document that said, again, what we on the inside have known for quite a long time, that the two greatest sources of threat to, frankly, our intellectual property, industrial secrets, were coming from China and coming from Russia and Eastern Europe. And in the one case, in China, it appears to be an awful big slice of state sponsorship. From Russia and Eastern Europe, these are guns for hire. These are criminal elements that will sell themselves out to other entities who want to steal this kind of intellectual property.
And they're smart, and they come from wildly manipulative backgrounds because of the life they lived under communism, it seems to me. And they're very good at manipulating situations.
Well, they're very scientifically advanced.
Yes.
Perhaps they don't have as many other opportunities as some other folks have. I'm an intelligence officer. I reserve judgment. I just report the facts, and the facts are these right now are the two greatest sources of threat to our intellectual property and industrial secrets, which is not to say there aren't other folks out there trying to do this in their own way with a great deal of energy.
Yes.
General, the Pentagon at some point last year, I think in the fall, said that any cyber attack on the United States would be considered an act of war. And on what level? We know we're being attacked all the time.
Right.
And were we to consider it an act of war, and we'd have to go a ways to define what that is, what are we going to do about it? Strike back with nuclear weapons, strike back with cruise missiles? What are we going to do?
Well, the policy was we would respond appropriately, and we wouldn't self-limit ourselves to a cyber response. But this brings up a really important point, and that's with all the great debate now and the focus on the issue, you've got a lot of folks talking about it, but our language isn't clear. So let me kind of give you a sense of the taxonomy, the way we look at it from our side, because frankly, we do this stuff too. We self-limit. We do it for the security, safety, and liberty of our citizens. Others don't self-limit, but we do it. When we go out there and steal data, we don't call that a computer attack. We call that computer network exploitation. And most of the sins we see out there now are in that CNE, computer network exploitation box. Now, what the declaratory policy was talking about was something more. I mean, look, espionage, we can have our views on it, but it is an accepted international practice and is not generally viewed as an act of war. Beyond that, though, now, because we're all wired in, because everything is connected, because a lot of our control mechanisms are connected to the internet now, we have something beyond CNE, exploitation, CNA. And when we say computer network attack, we mean an attack designed to degrade, destroy, disrupt, delay our own information, or even worse, to take over a controlling function in a network and to create physical damage. That, I think, Bill, is what they were referring to, and that we would not confine our response to only cyber response. We would simply respond appropriately.
What can you tell us, as much as you can, about the possibilities of cyber attack and cyber warfare with Iran?
The Iranians are a talented people. The Iranians are a cyber people. They are a cyber-faring nation. And so I would not be surprised that there are people in the Iranian government who are working very hard to build up these kinds of capacities that they might want to use, if so ordered by the supreme leader.
And on our side?
Well, I mean, we're a cyber-faring nation too, and let me give you the warm feeling for the conversation here. The greatest concentration of cyber power on this planet is about 25 miles up the BW Parkway at Fort Meade in Maryland, with the National Security Agency, elements of DISA, the Defense Information Systems Agency, and the brand new combatant command called Cyber Command. There is nothing like that on the planet. We're a very powerful cyber-faring nation. But because of that, we've put so much of what you and I think are important, from our credit cards to our personal information to our industrial secrets to our state secrets, out there in ones and zeros. We're not just most powerful, we're also most vulnerable.